And I think that the United States, for the last year and a half, has been getting closer and closer to having no gold at all. And what they're doing right now is they're using melt, as we've discussed in this program before. And when you use melt, you're at the bottom of the barrel. And Germany is asking for their gold. They can't get it. They're being danced around by Larry Summers. And Dubai has asked for their gold from England, from London, and they can't get their gold either. And I think it's all been sold. Canada mysteriously loses the gold in its vault. Somebody, quote, stole it. Give me a break. It wasn't stolen. The United States government borrowed it in order to suppress the price. And that'll come out a year and a half, 2 years from now, when they have finally admitted what they've done. I mean, what do they think we're stupid? I mean, we got this vault in somewhere in Ontario or Ottawa or wherever it is, and it contains X amount of gold, and somebody waltzed in and took it out? I don't think so. Somebody within government steal it? I don't think so. So they're not going to be able to continue indefinitely manipulating the markets if they run out of product. And that's going to happen. And I don't think they've got that much left. I think they're on their last legs.
Did you find your paper yet?
Yes, my child.
All righty.
Here it is.
Go ahead.
One of my mates gave me $1,000 Australian today to get some silver from him on the expected dip while he was working. I got in about 9:30, and it was about 6th in line at the Perth Mint at the time. The Perth Mint is now out of all 30,000 1-ounce kookaburras, limited supplies of the Year of the Ox. In fact, I got the last 2 they had. But they still have some 200 Year of the Mouse, or the Rat, 1-ounce coins, but supplies are dwindling fast. They still have 10-ounce, 20-ounce, and kilo bars, no idea the quantity on that front. I just thought I'd pass that on to you to prove to you again that the product is not out there.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And that comes from a guy who lives in Perth. And we got a bunch of them in Perth. I don't know, they must be gold crazy there or something. But we got one guy who lives 3 blocks from the Mint. About 9 months ago, he went down with his certificate and wanted physical silver, and they said, yeah, you can have it. 3 to 6 months. They don't have it. They're shorting the market. I know they are. Anybody who would do business with the Perth Mint would have to have their head examined. At least with gold money, at least I know Jim is honest, and he would never do that.
Right.
Because they know him.
Yep.
And he's a good person. And
yep.
For those who want to do that, that's fine. I don't agree with it. But I do like Jim. He's a good guy.
Yeah. No, I had no problems with Jim. It's just the program. And people that listen to these programs, they strive for privacy. And you're certainly not going to have it by having those types of accounts. And well, you don't own it unless you have it in your pocket. Just always remember that.
You have 2 problems. If you're using a certificate, who knows whether they'll be in business. And the same thing with Gold Line. That's a possibility. On the other hand, with certificates and with something like Gold Line, the government might say to all of those Gold Line type of operation or certificate operations, they might say, hey, we need gold because we don't have any more. So we got to back our currency. So you guys and the ETFs are all going to give us all the gold you've got, and we're going to give you dollars for it at current prices. That could easily happen. But less than 1% of Americans own gold. Do you think that they want to try to collect gold like they did in 33 and only got 25% of what was out there? I don't think so.
Nope. You don't own it. All you have is a piece of paper. So here's another question in from Philip. He says he hopes we can answer this question today. He says he sees a clear reverse head and shoulders in gold priced in dollars that is mirrored by a head and shoulders in the USDX. He thought that gold would go up in all currencies when gold reached 1,000. However, if we are seeing a correction in the U.S. dollar, could we see an irrational move from the U.S. dollar into other currencies? That could see them begin a similar reverse head and shoulders to that which the dollar is now exiting. This would provide a head and shoulders for the UK pound, euro, and their bonds because flight from the dollar would support them. The scenario would be temporary buying opportunity because people would then flight from other perceived fiat safe havens once the unwinding is complete and has nothing to keep it going. He imagines that the pattern could last over a year if this occurs. This is one scenario, but the fundamental question is, what irrational effects do you see from a scenario where we see a flight from the dollar?
Well, it'll go into gold and other currencies. And other currencies are not backed by gold. So ultimately, they're all going to go down against gold as well. So any currency that's not gold-backed is going to lose against gold. It's as simple as that. I went over earlier in the program, and that's it. I mean, you know, so you hold Canadian dollars or pounds or Swiss francs or euros, and they don't go down as much against gold. Well, big deal. But supposing gold goes to $9,000, like Chris put in that letter that we got, maybe in the other currencies it might only go to $6,000 or $7,000. I still wouldn't want to be in them. It's just like, let's get the real thing. Why mess around with commodities and all these other things when you're in this giant 20-year bull market? I mean, you people do these mental gymnastics, which are a waste of time. You know, you go where the action is. And the action is in gold and silver. It's been there for 9 years, and it's going to continue because of the denigration, not only of the dollar. You know, every other country out there is increasing money and credit and lowering interest rates to a lesser or bigger degree than the U.S. So they all got problems. They all got zero interest rates. I mean, the increase in money supply, the M3, for the euro is about 6.7%. It's 17.4% in London. So it varies pretty widely. So you're wasting your time.
Last week we spoke about the, what do you think, I think I'm going to ask this question first. Nick Morino?
Yeah, what about him?
Well, I thought we already spoke to him, but, you know, he's talking about $250 gold again because he's talking about the gold.
He's trying to sell subscriptions.
Yeah, he says that the
gold market's over. That's how Nick does it.
Yeah.
He loses 50 to 60% of his subscriber base every year. He spends millions of dollars advertising this kind of crap.
Yep.
Okay? And he's been wrong most of the time. Not right. And incidentally, in the newsletter business, the average newsletter loses 32% of their subscribers each year. We lose about 15. And most of it's through death.
And we'll be back on Wednesday. Stay tuned tomorrow for Alfred Ajask. Until then, have a great day, and God bless you. Thank you, Bob.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.